Good evening, soul sisters. Parenting. The topic was the conscious parenting. So let us talk about what is conscious parenting. What I believe, we are all having conscious minds and subconscious minds. I believe subconscious minds are made up of what we have experienced as children in our families. Whatever we have learned from our parents gets into our subconscious mind, our experiences right from the childhood. And the conscious mind is what we actually intentionally think. So, conscious parenting, what every parent should know about is when there's a birth of child in the home, it's not the time to teach, but it's time to learn. Don't we agree to that?
Yes.
When we become mothers, the first thing is that we need to teach the child. And I think it's more of us to learn what the child wants. Don't you think that we are all what our parents have taught us? If I talk about my experience, I've always been bombarded with the things like, you are a hardworking woman, you really need to work hard more on whatever you plan for. So that was the thing that was every time in my mind, that okay Nidhi, whatever you want to work, you need to work hard. Whatever you want to do, you want to work hard. In my 13 years of experience as a child psychologist, I have noticed that whenever there is a problem with a child's behavior, it goes down directly to parenting. I've seen an example where a child who was, say, 12 years old stopped going to the school for 3 years consecutively. I've done that case. Where the child just refused to go to school just because she was nervous what would happen to her mother, because the father and the mother had trips with them. So, this is what happens. If I even take down mellow down to a smaller example, I've seen a student who was into engineering. The last 2 months he gave up because he thought that he's the only one, and his father was studying his father was out of India working, not with him ever, could not give time, and he felt pressurized for whatever he was doing because he was the only man in the family. So why do we all develop these feelings that there is something wrong with me? Because the parents had said something. And why do we believe as children is because we trust them. Whatever parents say that you are not good enough, the child accepts it and ingrains it in his mind that okay, I trust my parent, and if my parent feels that I am not perfect, there is something wrong with me. Let's take it the other way around. When we talk to each other as delegates, don't we consciously think what we're doing? Yes? Don't we think before saying, hi, how are you? Or do we do that with our children? No, we don't. We just talk. We talk as if they are coming through us and not for us. We always believe, this is my child, I can treat him the way I want. So when I'm in a bad mood, I can say anything to him. That, don't talk to me, I'm busy. So if I'm busy, the child feels, okay, mama is busy with some work and I am not worth enough her attention. Children are developing these negative thoughts in their minds. So what we really need to do is think before talking. And for that, what we need is the conscious mind. And the conscious mind, I believe, will be an interactive session. So you will tell me, as parents, what does the first thing mean? You talk according to the child's stage of life, the stage of development. Tell me. So if your child is small, say 2 years old, how would you talk to the child? Would it be the same way you talk to your teenager?
No.
So you have to change according to the stage of the life child,
Yeah.
right? The second point I believe is whatever the child goes through, whatever the child's behavior is, there is this reason behind it, right? So if the child is saying that I need a toy, right, and howls and shows a very big tantrum, so how would you think that, what would you think the reason could be? Tell me.
Attention.
Attention. Probably he's not getting the correct attention from the parents, right? So you need to understand the reason behind the behavior, right? The next point is, now that the child is howling and crying and showing no interest in whatever you're saying, what do you do next? Is accept the emotions. So when the child is crying, you go to the child, and rather than saying, stop crying, control your emotions. What do we need to do? Acknowledge. Correct.
Yeah.
Accept the emotions.
Yeah.
Now, if we take this example, the child is crying, howling, and if you, rather than saying that you're not supposed to cry, you take the child near you and say, I understand. Let's take up the same example that the child is crying for the toy, right? So you've accepted the emotion that I understand that you want the toy. How would that be? How would that be when friends of us come and say, and I know you're not in a good mood, I'm there for you. The same feeling that the child would get when you say, I understand you need the toy, rather than say, stop crying for the toy. I understand that you need the toy. What next? Respond, don't react. Now once you've accepted the child, that I know you want the toy, the next time is that you respond. Now how do you respond? Now probably, when I was traveling, there was this parent who talked to me that my son cried and howled at 2 a.m. in the night, saying that I want to go to the garden. Okay, so had it been a common, who has not attended a parent coaching center or something, the person would react by giving any number of examples. This is not the right time. There are dogs there. They'll bite you. It's a scary night. Do we need to give these examples? No. What we need to do is respond, do not react. Any answers from your side? How would you react?
Understand the
How would you
why does he
respond?
want to? Why does he want to go to a park at 2 o'clock?
Okay, he'll say that I want to enjoy. So the correct response would be
in the morning.
yes,
We
perfect.
can go in the morning.
We can go in the morning. This is not the right time because sometimes there are rules to be followed. This is night time, better. You need to be firm. At the same time, be respectful about it. This is not the right time. You need to relax. This is the time to sleep. I am there with you, with the right choice of words. You keep on saying to that child that I'm with you, I'm with your feelings. Because understand, when the child's demand is not accepted, the first thought that comes in our mind is that Mama doesn't love me.
Yes.
She's not good enough. She's a bad mother. I hate you. Right? And at that time, what you need to do is, I understand that you hate me. I understand totally your feeling that you really hate me. I wish I had a magic wand and I could do something for you. But alas, this cannot be done. Because it's night and 2 a.m. is the time to
Sleep.
sleep. So the child needs to understand his emotion, feel that he is supposed to control it positively, going through the emotion completely. So he'll cry, maybe for an hour or so, but then he would understand that this is not going to change. Mama is disciplined. So when the mama is disciplined, the child is automatically disciplined. And then the last, I'm there for you. I'd love to talk about a small example. I still remember when my daughter was very upset on something. She cried and I was upset on her that I didn't like this behavior, beta. I really didn't like it. She cried. And I don't know, probably the parent coach came up in me and the mother thing was beside. And I told her, I understand whatever you're doing, beta, but I love you. And you won't believe the expression that they gave. Really, mama? She was like off her tears within a second. And she said, Mama, you really love me? Even with whatever behavior I've done right now? I said, yes, I really love you. Definitely I didn't like the behavior, but you are still my daughter and my beautiful daughter. And you won't believe, within a second, she was on her toes smiling. That made me realize that so many times we hurt the children and they start off a thing that mama doesn't love me. That needs to be taken care of. And I think we all are dependent, am I right? On some or the other person in our lives. The children are completely dependent on us. So what we really need to do, I believe, is let the child know that I am there for you. I'm there for you, whatever happens. And don't let it be just a word. It should be a feeling that the child, whatever he has done, maybe has stolen something, but then he should know that if he has shared that with you, you will respond and not react. So just to wind up, in short, talk according to the stages of development, respond, do not react, accept the child's emotions, do not react. If you see the photograph, it's clearly shown that the father is reacting, which we usually do when we are upset. So we need to have a little emotional control on ourselves as well. And respond. If you see the body language, that is really important. And if you've noticed, another point that I would add on, if you see a small child, maybe 2, 3 or 4, the child looks directly into your eyes. We tend to look at the whole body language. The child looks directly into your eyes. They know what your eyes speak. So they know if you're really there. Use words that support the child thinking. So like if the child comes and says that I'm mad at Susie, I'm very upset on her, you can just say, oh really? Can you tell me exactly what happened? And have some neutral talks. Oh, and trust me, oh, really? Works a lot. You need not talk, you need not explain, you need not be a lecturer every time. Let your child know that you're always there. Thank you so much. Happy parenting.